Hi everyone, my name is Sara Valiferdowsi and I'm one of your online students for your Gero 550 class. For my presentation today, I'll be discussing my shadowing experience with MidPen Housing. Before we jump into the shadowing, I'd like to give you a brief description of the organization and also the program manager that I had the pleasure of shadowing. And at the end, it will be followed by my experience and my thoughts that I thought would be valuable to share with the class. MidPen Housing is a nonprofit affordable housing organization for families and older adults in Northern California. Back in about 1970, a small coalition of Silicon Valley entrepreneurs from Berkeley, from Stanford, and other leaders in the San Francisco Bay Area felt the critical need for affordable housing, and from this is where MidPen Housing stemmed from. Today, they have developed or rehabbed 100 properties, and they currently have about 8,000 residents and about 500 employees. I wanted to share their mission statement with you only because it really grasps the whole concept of what they do and their mission and their services that they provide. So MidPen wants to provide safe, affordable housing of high quality to those in need, establish stability and opportunity in the lives of residents, and foster diverse communities that allow people with all ethnic, social, and economic backgrounds to live in dignity, harmony, and mutual respect. In this next slide, I wanted to include the organizational chart only because the community itself, this organization, is going through a complete structural change. It's actually increasing, and they're creating new positions to adapt to all the new communities that they've been adding to the MidPen Housing family. So if you look at the chart, I do apologize that it's a little bit small, but the first star that you see that's kind of like a dark red, that is Maria Kakamov. She is the program manager of the East Bay grouping. And if you actually look at the green star right below that, that would be myself. So I actually do work for MidPen Housing. I did start in April. So I'm the associate program manager position. That is a brand new position to compensate and to deal with the growing population of the community and the services demand. I'd like to introduce you to Maria Kakamov. She is a program manager and my direct supervisor at MidPen Housing. I had the pleasure of integrating my shadowing experience with also my onboarding with MidPen Housing in April. A little bit more about Maria. She got her Master's of Science, Sociology, and Sociology education in Moscow. She started back in 2010. So her cross-functional role, she actually has several levels of expertise that her job does not require, but because she was promoted since 2010, she's collected these skills over the time being, which has made her so functional and so productive in her role. I'll go in a little bit more about her leadership style of administration. It's just a demand of the services that is needed at MidPen Housing, and she has a very understanding way of really thinking about the staff and the clients first and being very innovative and creative, which makes her the ideal leader in this industry. For my training / shadowing experience that I had with MidPen Housing and Maria, these are just a couple of the main applications or technological softwares that Maria and I will have to use on a daily basis in order to keep the productivity and the function of the senior services accurate and up to date. Each one of these applications has a main function. However, they do overlap a little bit in their purposes, so that it's a little bit redundant, but how they use each one is very specific so that we can't try and combine into one application because not one application is able to do the full function of another application. But everything in here would include something from data to communication to training, to scheduling, to the financial management. So that's kind of what a look at of just the softwares that we do use. For this slide, I wanted to share my thoughts and experience and what I thought was valuable to share with you all. I really did enjoy the fact that their mission statement was not just a bunch of words, but it was an action plan of how they were going to produce and sustain their service. So it shows volumes in their networks and their partners and all their contracts that they say that what they're going to do, and they have the loyalty of other organizations in support of them because they have seen them produce everything that they said that they would. In addition to that, I would say that their structure is definitely decentralized because they give more choice of power to the staff members to really speak up, and it motivates them. So I would say that the teamwork and the collaboration there is very strong, not only within their department, but with other departments too. So they're very effective in coming together and having these monthly meetings to ensure that they're doing the best that they can for all the residents in their community, even the high risk ones, because the last thing they want to do is evict them. They want to see if there's anything on the services standpoint of view that they can provide to improve their quality of life, to support them in the household for a longer period of time with their quality of life and dignity. The only negative experience that I say I would have was the IT training. There were so many different softwares that you could see from the previous slide that they're constantly adding and updating. So the training is not similar across the board. There's variations between it too, and it's kind of who trains you. So it's not a computerized version of it too. So I would definitely say that it'd be nicer if there was just a fewer softwares and they would be able to create one software that is able to have multiple of these functions in order to be most efficient and most effective and not have so many different passwords. Anyways, well, that's my presentation and about my shadowing experience with MidPen Housing. I hope you all enjoyed.